welcome. It's Grandma Roseanne and you're in my kitchen again and we're going to make shortbread. Now this is going to be a stress factor for me because cameraman remembers shortbread that his grandma used to make for him all the time. He would come home from school, he would stop by her little place, she would always serve him tea. They're Scottish. She would serve him tea and shortbread, and my shortbread has to be as good as the memory of his grandma. So let's move forward and see if we can make it. Shortbread is very, very simple. 3 cups of flour, half a cup of sugar, a pinch of salt. Mix that up so everything is blended in there together. And then we want 2 sticks of butter. So, life will be much better for you if the butter is soft. It doesn't have to be, but boy, I'll tell you, it's a lot of work if it's not. Now, you can use the mixer, which I have done, but it's like pie crust to me. And the mixer is good, or the food processor is good, but I think when you take the time to kind of do it by hand, I think it's actually a lot better. Now, I'm just gonna cut this in a little bit, just like this. You can use your fingers, which is just fine to do, or you can use a pastry cutter, which basically is doing the same thing. There. Now this will take you a couple of minutes to do it. If you're doing it by hand, it's going to take you probably about 5 minutes. If you do it in your mixer, it's going to take about 5 seconds. So depending on what your time factor is, you can make this really, really, really quick. And we want to get this all to where it incorporates and it becomes a dough. So this is going to take a couple of minutes to do. Now we're just going to incorporate all these little bits and pieces in here. We're going to just knead it a little bit. This doesn't take very long. So you see what's happening here? We're starting to form it now. Just like this. And as you're doing it, you guys, you're going to think, oh, this is never going to come together. But it does, so just be a little bit patient with it. That's beautiful. Now, if you want to roll this out, if you want to cut this right now and bake it right now, you can do that. But I'm really going to advise you that if you have a little bit of patience, just leave it in your refrigerator, wrap it up, leave it in the refrigerator for maybe just 30 minutes and let it harden. It's going to make life so much easier when you go to cut it. So, we have our good plastic wrap. We have our cube. Just like that. Now we're going to seal it up nice and tight so that it doesn't dry out on us. I'm going to pop it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes and then we will cut and bake. Right, while this was in the refrigerator, what I did is I set my oven at 320 degrees so that it was preheated. And now we are just going to cut this into some bars, because our dough is going to be much easier to work with now. Isn't that beautiful? Oh. Now then, we're just going to put them onto our baking sheet. I've got a self-pack on here, so if you don't have a one of these type of pads, what you might want to do is just use some parchment paper. You have a pretty delicate dough here, so you want to be a little bit careful with it. And these are about a 1/2 inch. Okay. Now typically, they have some markings on them. So we want to stay as close to tradition as we can. Remember, I'm having to come up to Grandma's. Grandma's recipes are always hard to come up to, so I have to do it just like she did. Now my oven is at 320 degrees and we are going to put these in for 20 minutes, but we're going to check them at 15. Okay, I'll be back in 15 minutes, but don't they look beautiful? Let's just see if they're going to be perfection. Well, they have been in for 20 minutes and they are wonderful. Now, as you're looking at them, you might think that they are not done, but in fact, what you're wanting to look for is just a little bit of golden and golden on the bottom. That is perfect. So now we're going to plate them. And the biggest challenge I'm going to have here is for cameraman not to be diving in, because I do want to let them cool down for just a little bit. All right, this is what it's all about, isn't it? It's just all about a beautiful cookie, having a wonderful memory around that cookie, and that's what cameraman had. Now, I'm going to go in for the taste first, okay? Now, we have a cup of tea, shortbread, and this was hilarious, you guys. Cameraman said, I have a Scottish doll. I said, you have a what? A Scottish doll. I said, well, go get it. And he comes down with the cutest little thing here. And I said, where did you get that? He said, I don't know. I've had it forever. So anyway, she is here to enjoy this last segment with us. So I'm going to take a taste and I will let you know honestly. So good, so good. However, that's from my taste. The important one is cameraman. So, cameraman, I'm going to give you a part of a cookie, and you taste it, and you tell the people what it's like.
Well, then, it's absolutely delicious. My grandmother was from Glasgow, Scotland, and she was so good at making her shortbread cookies. She absolutely loved it. But these are fantastic. She'd be very proud of you, and you met the test. These are delicious, Roseanne, really are. And now I need some tea though. We need tea with it.
I have tea right here ready for you.
I'm ready for it.
Ready for you.
She'd be so proud of you, huh? These are delicious.
Well, I'm proud that we were able to make it and even compare to your grandma's. So
Really
with that
good.
being said, you guys, give these a try. They're really, really simple. They're really, really quick to cook, and they're absolutely delicious. A delicious little cookie here. I'm going to leave all the ingredients below for you, so you don't worry about having to remember anything. And subscribe. I'd love to have you come back. So subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and have an absolutely amazing day. And what we're going to do is just have a cup of tea and some shortbread. Okay? Bye.